In today's lab, we are going to work with the 4 cross 3 keyboard. So that means 4 rows, okay, and 3 columns. Yeah, so 4 cross 3. And these are generally found in most of the small electrical toys and weighing machine and all those stuffs, okay. Until unless you need more complex keyboard, for example, like in case of calculator, the keyboard that you use in your laptop, you can just follow the same rule that is uh, designed in this lecture. Okay, you can expand it to any other keyboard also, because the algorithm remains same. Only thing is some of the uh, techniques to improvise the quality of the keyboard and the functionality of the keyboard changes. Okay, so remember, this is the fundamental or the basic fundamental keyboard which you are going to use, and we will not be covering all different features that are available in normal keyboards, be it in case of calculator or your keyboard in the computer. So we are going to discuss a very basic keyboard. So 4 cross 3 keypad means, here you can see we have a keypad. So you can see here there are 4 rows, row 1, 2, 3, 4, and columns, 3 columns. Okay, so that's why it is called 4 cross 3. So first of all, when we have multiple rows and multiple columns, we need to name them so that we can write a program to control them. Okay, so keep an eye here how this particular system is designed. Okay, so here you have the VCC, voltage, and then in general what we do, we connect a resistance or a bank of resistors so that we can keep the potentials separated. So here you have the 5 volt, precise 5 volt is here. Okay, here this voltage may be 5 volt or may not be 5 volt, depending on what kind of network you have after this node. Okay, after this node you may have different kind of setup, and that will decide whether you will be getting 5 volt here or 0 volt here. Let me just briefly show you what I mean by that. For example, I have a setup something like this. Okay, here you have the ground, and here you have 5 volt, and I believe you know this particular kind of circuits. When you have both the resistors having the same value R and R, be it 10 ohm, 100 ohm, 1 kilo ohm, 10 kilo ohm. So if suppose this, I am focusing on this node. Okay, so what is the voltage here at this node when the switch is off? That means in this particular state, what is the voltage here? Be fast. What is the voltage if the switch is off or in the open state?
Sir, 5 volt.
5 volt. Why? Because there is no current flowing, and therefore there is no potential drop taking place. Potential drop will take place only when current starts flowing. So there is no drop. That's the word drop. Okay, so 5 volt is there and there is no drop here, so you will get 5 volt here. So there is no drop. Now taking the second case or the second scenario, where assume we are going to connect this switch to ground. Okay, like this, not the ground, like this terminal. Okay, now what happened, you have a node which this whole area is single node, right? So now the voltage here in this all this area or on all this node or points is the same, and therefore now we have a circuit which is called potential divider. Okay, potential here, this is the potential. Okay, actual potential is here, and this potential is getting divided by what value? Is it getting divided by 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5? What value it is going to get divided? That we can know by applying nodal anyway. So but looking at the two resistances R and R, you can definitely say that this is going to be 2.5 5 volt. You can apply the nodal Vx and you can find out the value. Vx minus 5 volt divided by R plus Vx minus 0 by R, you will get the equation equal to 0. Okay. You can get the value of Vx, which will be 2.5 volt. Clear? So that means this potential here in this node will depend on what kind of circuitry you have in the keypad. Okay. Therefore, it is not necessary that this node will always remain 5 volt. But if this key is open or the circuitry is open, in that case you will be getting 5 volt. Otherwise, you will be getting a different voltage. We will explore that later. So these are the three nodes. So here C2, C1 and C0. Why I am calling it C? Because these are connected to columns. So these are the three columns connected. So column 0, column 1, column 2. Okay, and these columns are coming here, and this is column 2, column 1 and column 0. Okay, so we will make note of these things. Okay, secondly, now let us focus on the rows. So this is your row 0. Okay, row 1, row 2 and row 3. Okay, so now these rows are again connected to the ports. So you can see here our row 0 is here, and then row 1, row 2 and row 3. Okay, so now first of all, whenever you get a keypad or a keyboard, first make note of all the rows and columns. How many rows are there and how many columns are there? Make a note and create a matrix. Simple. Create a matrix. Okay, so that you can know which key is going to be pressed. So first of all, we know the port. The port is port 0 here. You can see port 0 is connected to the keypad. Out of 8 lines, we are using only 7 lines. Why 7 lines? 4 for the rows and 3 for the columns. Okay, clear? So therefore, we are using 7 lines, and therefore, you can see 0.7 is not used here. Okay, 8th line of port 0 is not used. So we are using only 7 lines, these 7 lines. Okay. Now you can make note, port 0.0 is R0, 0.1 is R1, port 0.2 is R2 and so on. Port 0.6 is C2. This we made a table by looking into the schematic. So this schematic again is on the designer's choice. So you can choose which port, which line you want to connect it to the rows or columns. Okay. But here in the software, we are getting this kind of schematic. So we'll be using this particular nomenclature. Next, coming to the details, or like I said, we need to make a matrix which will tell us which key is pressed. Okay. So how to make that matrix? For example, here at time t0, assume at time t0, one of the keys from row 3 is pressed. Row 3. This is row 3. So row 3 can give you the information about key number 1, 2 and 3. So row 3 can provide you the information related to 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So which one is connected to which of the columns? You can see here one is connected to column number 2, C2. Clear? So C2. Then similarly, key 2 is pressed. Key number 2 is connected to column number 1. Key number 3 is connected to column number 0. Okay. So then after that, after certain time you press, after certain time t1, you pressed or you are focusing on row number 2. So what are the keys, or which are the keys you can that means detect from key row number 2? From row number 2 you can detect key 4, 5 and 6, but keeping an eye that C2, okay, column number 2 will give you the information of key number 4, column number 1 will give you the information of 5, column number 0 the information of 6. Okay, this is column number 0, 6 number key. Okay, similarly you can make the matrix for all the rows and all the columns. Okay, you can keep this thing apart because I made it so that you should understand at any time you cannot detect two keys. Okay, at any particular time t, you cannot detect two keys simultaneously. So you can only detect either row 1, row 2, row 3, or row 4, so on. But at any time, you will be detecting only one key. Okay, if simultaneously suppose someone presses two keys, in that case, you will not be able to identify whether zero or hash is pressed, or it will not give you an information related to a single key. For example, let me show you, and you too can try. I am going to start a notepad. Here is the notepad. Right now, let's check the algorithm that is followed in my keyboard. So I am pressing A and I am not leaving it. So right now you can see A is continuously getting pressed. So this is level triggered kind of thing. Leave it. And then keeping the A pressed, I am pressing B. And suddenly you see, without even leaving A, now both A and B are pressed, but still B is getting printed. Now I am going to release B. Now you see the program, the keyboard stopped even when I have pressed A. So this algorithms, how the keys will work for different keystrokes and all, multiple keystrokes and all, will depend on keyboard to keyboard. So companies make their own algorithms for key press. Okay, so you may have a different algorithm in your keyboard. Anyway, so at any time, remember, at any time, two keys will not be detected. Only one key will be detected. Okay, therefore I kept it at different time. So now if suppose someone asks you what is the key number 5's identity, key number 5 is can be identified by row 2 c1. So row 2 c1, key number 5. Okay, key number 7. Okay, key number 7, if suppose someone ask you what is key number 7's identity, it is r1 c2. So R1 C2 will give you the information of key number 7. Similarly, R2 C1 will give you the information of key number 5. But now the question is how we are going to scan these, how to identify which of these keys are pressed. Okay, for that we have to develop an algorithm and we have to understand how we are going to detect the keystroke. Okay, so for that we must know what are the what kind of internal circuitry is there in the keypad. Okay, so remember, like I showed you before, all the pins representing the columns are connected to VCC or supply voltage. This may not be the case for different keypads, but I am discussing about the keypad that we have. So the keypad that we have, in that case VCC voltage is connected to columns. Okay, and then all the rows are connected to different pins of the microcontroller. Now to start the scanning, what we will do is we will scan each row at a time. We will scan row 0, then row 1, then row 2, and then row 3. If no key is pressed, okay, go back again, row 0, row 1, row 2, row 3. But row 1, row 2, row 3 will give you the information of 3 keys simultaneously, like this. Okay, wait. Okay, it is going to give you the information of 3 keys. Okay, so how to know which of these 3 keys are pressed? Okay, for that we need to do second scanning. First is we will disable all the rest of the rows. So first of all, assume we are starting with R0. Okay, so let me go sequentially. So suppose someone is interested in checking which key is pressed. So first he will activate row 0, deactivate rest of the rows. So what does that mean? Just try to understand activating. After that I will show you how to activate and deactivate. Okay, so you have activated row 0, so you can detect star 0 or hash. But then after that what you will do, you will check C2, then state of C1, then state of C0. So suppose if state of C1 is detected, okay, or it is found that C1 is activated, then in that case key 0 is pressed. So how to check that? Okay, that is not the problem here. So this is how we generally do the scanning. So we will keep one row active, rest of the rows deactivated, and then scan all the columns one by one. Okay. Okay. Let me show you the whole concept in detail. So this is the internal circuit you have. So VCC is here, VCC which is equal to plus 5 volt. Okay. This is taken from internet, so I don't remember the website, but anyway. So this is 5 volt here VCC, and you can see 5 volt is here, 5 volt, 5 volt and 5 volt. Okay. Now column number 0, this is column number 0, column number 1, column number 2. Okay. Now R3, R2, R1, R0, these are connected to the pins of the ports, and whichever pin of the port you are trying to detect, first of all what you will do, you will provide 5 volt here. That means high, high, high here. So what is going to happen here in that case? If we have 5 volt here and 5 volt, you can see if I press this key, if I short this key, what will happen? 5 volt will come to this port also. So both are 5 volts. So there is no way to detect this particular key. Whereas that means I am deactivating row 3. So I will not be detecting any keys from this particular row if I am keeping it 5 volt. Similarly, if I am keeping 5 volt in this row, I will not be able to detect any keystroke here also. Similarly, if I am keeping 5 volt here, I will not be detecting any keystroke here. Okay. Now keep an eye here. For example, to activate this row, I am going to make it low. It means I am going to make row number 0 low. Okay. So this is low. So that means I can detect star, 0 or hash. I can detect one of these 3 keys. Then how can I detect which one is pressed? So suppose C1 is pressed, this one is pressed. Suppose this one is pressed. Okay. So you can see this particular pin which was actually high. Okay. Before that, when the key was not pressed, all 3 were high. Right. Now what you are going to do, you press this key, this particular key. So that means this high becomes low because it is connected from here and connected to low. So only 2 of the key columns will become high, only one of the column will become low. So now you can check, this one is low, R0, and C1 is low. So R0, C1 will give you the information about key number 0, which is this one. Right. So in this way, you can detect any of the keys. Let me go a bit deeper into that. Okay, so that you can understand how to decode the key. Again, let us go to another example. Keep an eye and focus here. You have 5 volt here. So 5 volt is going to reach to these particular nodes, 5 volt, 5 volt and 5 volt. Now this R3 is low. Okay, so you have activated row number 3. So you can check keystroke 1, keystroke 2 and keystroke 3. So you can detect one of these 3 keys, but which one of these 3 is going to be pressed, how you are going to do? So you have activated this row and then check which one of these 3 columns are getting low voltage. How they will get low voltage? Assume, suppose you press number 1. Okay. Or let me take another example. So initially this is high. You can see high, high, high. Okay. All of them are high. Okay. High, high. But the moment I press key number 1, so this key number 1 is pressed. So the voltage here and here will become same. So here it was low. Okay, so this node will become low. This node becomes low. So now you can detect C2, R3. Okay, knowing this combination C2R3, you can say that key number 1 was pressed. And similarly, what you can do is repeatedly scan the columns one by one, one by one, one by one, and whichever pair, row and column, becomes low, by knowing that particular pair, you can tell that which of the keys out of the 12 keys have been pressed. Okay, 12, yeah, for 312, yeah, 12 keys have been pressed. Okay, this is how we do the scanning of the keys. So now I will show you a simple program which will be detecting a keystroke, and then it will also show you which of the keys are pressed, and then it stops. But rather your task is different. Okay, you will be getting a bit bigger task rather than just detecting the key. Okay, you will be getting a bit bigger task. Okay. Okay, so this is the program which we have shared with you um, in the handout. So what I did, I just kept all the subroutines in different locations so that the program looks a bit simpler. Okay, so that the program looks simpler. So this is the initial part of the program, or the first basic part of the program, in which you are just starting the scanning process. For that, what we are doing here is we are taking R0, register R0, okay, and entering 0 into that. So R0 is initially 0. Okay, this will show you R0 is going to tell you which key is getting pressed. Which key? Okay, let us check how. So function number 1. Function number 1, what you are doing? Clearing port 0.0. What is port 0.0? I have not started the program yet. Okay, let me just start the software. Let's see. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, here we have the logic diagram, and I am going to deactivate all the other things. Just I will keep the keypad on. Just I am going to deactivate all the things. Mm, Rather, I will take the help of the handout. Why to go for this? This still looks a bit confusing for you. I'll take the help of the handout. This is Word PDF. Okay. Flamen. Here we have the circuit with us. Okay. So now you can see here what I'm doing here is first I will be deactivating one of the rows. So depending on that row, then I can check which of the columns have been pressed. First deactivate rest of the rows, just activate one of the rows. Okay. So now clear 0.0. 0.0, that means we are going to scan the key, this particular key, port 0.0. So 0.0, you can come up and check here, it is row 0. Okay, here you can check row 0. So row 0, if I am making it this particular pin low, and rest of the 3 pins, pin 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 high. Okay, so only 0.0 is low. That means I can only detect the keystrokes at row number 0. First task is done. So I have deactivated the row 0, or I'm saying I am clearing the row 0, so that I will wait. Okay, which key is getting pressed. Then what I'm doing from here, okay, then I will go to the columns. So first is this part is scanning the row, scan the row. So which row is you are scanning here? Row 0. After the row 0, then you will jump to scan the column. For that, you will write a second subroutine here. Okay. If after scanning the column, you don't get any keystrokes, then what you will do, go back and activate the next row. Okay, so first you will be checking row 0, check the columns, all the 3 columns, like this, row 0, and then you check column 0, column 1, column 2. This is one subroutine, this is one subroutine. If no key is pressed, then go to row number 1, check column 0, column 1, column 2. No key is pressed. Row number 2, column 0, column 1, column 2. If assume this particular pair is pressed and both gets low, in that case from R2 C0 you will say that okay, this particular key is pressed. Okay, so first you will go to the row, then check all the columns. If no key is pressed, go to the next row, check all the columns. If no key is pressed, go to next column, all the rows. If no key is pressed, next row, all the columns. Still if no key is pressed, go back to R0, check. So this particular loop will continue for infinite time period. But assume one of the key is pressed and you detected one of the keystroke, then depending on that keystroke you can write a program which will activate some other thing, like making an LED on. Assume you have to make a program like, if key number 1 is pressed, make LED, one of the LED on. Okay, if key 2 is pressed, make 2 LEDs on. Okay, if 3 is pressed, now you have so many different possibilities, almost infinite. Okay, so 3 LEDs are pressed, so you can go and start any particular machine or an LED, or you can make even password for opening a door and so on. So now there are so many possibilities that you can use having a keyboard with you. Okay, so almost everything you can do with that. Similarly, then after completing the column scan, if assume you get one of the keys, then what you will do, you will just go to a subroutine called got key. Okay, and then set F0. F0 is one of the bits. Okay, this is F0 is one bit in PSW. So just to show that okay, we have detected a key, just to show that. Okay, and then you will return to the function that okay, we have detected a key, and finish the program. So before finishing the program, you may do any particular task, and then you may come to the finishing of the program. Otherwise, what you can do, it is not mandatory that you finish the program. You can keep on scanning the keyboard again and again for whole life, okay, or for infinite time period. It is not mandatory, because in this program, that handout we are going to provide you is going to use the finish program. How they are finishing the program or stopping the program? By ending up in this particular loop. This loop is going to repeat for infinite time. Okay, so if the key is detected, the program that is in your handout is going to set one of the bits in F0, which is in PSW, program status word. I will show you that where this particular bit is, and then after that it goes to the finish program, which actually sticks in the infinite loop. Okay, so this was the handout which we have done, okay, given to you. Let me show you the handout so that it will become a bit more clearer. So this is the handout. Okay, okay, my mistake. Okay, this one. So here you can see how the program is actually flowing. Okay, I have separated some of the details so that the program looks a bit better. Okay, so first of all, what we are doing, we are just checking R0. That is, R0 is becoming 0. And this program is about, this program, overall aim of the program is to detect the key pressed, okay, and stop the program. Stop the program. Okay. This is what the program is doing. So it is not a very intelligent programming. Okay. Just detecting a keystroke and then ending the program. Okay. Let us see how this thing is going to work in our program. So first of all, what we are doing, checking we are initiating register 0 with 0. Where is register 0? Here in the program, you can see this is register 0, R0. Initially, we are keeping it 0. We will be incrementing the key later. Okay, I will show you how you are going to check which key is pressed. Here you have the keys. Okay, so if you hover your mouse over the keys, you can see key 0, key 1, key 2, then key 3, key 4, key 5, key 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You might be having some A, B, C or something depending on whichever version of this software you are using. But you can just simply hover on the top of the keypad. It will give you the number of the key 0. It is not 0, key 0. Okay, key number 0. Then key 1, key 2, key 3, key 4, key 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Some of you might be getting A, B and all. Okay. In my case, it is 0, 1, 2, 3. Let me check if I have another. No. No. Okay. Standard keyboard. Okay. Now, we got the detail about the keypad. We got the detail about the R0. And let me show you where is F0. This is program status word. In that, you can check here. It was the carry. Let me that carry. Auxiliary carry. F0. So this is the F0 bit, and initially while I was taking the first lecture, I informed you that F0 is user's bit. We can program this particular bit. Otherwise, you cannot directly go and program carry bit, or you cannot directly manipulate the auxiliary carry. These are generally controlled by the software or the machine itself or the microcontroller itself. But okay, F0 is one bit which they are using in the program just for showing that okay, key press has been detected and stop the program. So how we are initializing the program? First, entering 0 into R0. R0 will be used to load the key number into the R0. Okay, so we'll be using R0 and we'll be loading the key number in this particular R0. So it loading the key number. Okay, now let us move ahead. First thing what you are doing, you are deactivating three rows. Okay, row number 3, row number 2 and row number 1. That means setting these bits means, like I showed you in the PPT, what we are doing, we are setting here. So if I set this bit also, if I make it high, okay, if I make this pin high or set this pin, in that case what will happen? I will not be able to detect any of the keystrokes because both will be high in these two. So here you will be getting high, here again you are getting high. So you cannot detect any keystroke. What you are doing is you are making one of the rows low. Okay, only one of the rows low, so that you can detect the rest of the keystrokes. So that this node, when it becomes low, okay, then you can say particular combination of R3 C2 is key number 1 and so. Now, in this programmer, therefore, 3 rows have been provided 5 volt or high. That means only row 0 will be scanned. So what we are doing? Clearing the row 0 by putting 0.0 port number 0 low. Clearing row number 0. Okay. So port 0.0 making it low means you can detect star, 0 or hash. Okay, clear. Now after this, when you have deactivated or you are going to scan one of the row, you will jump to then the column which of these three keys have been pressed. For that you are going to jump to column scan. This is one subroutine. So what is there in that subroutine? Here you come down and you can see this is the column scan section, this whole section up to this. Okay, so what you are going to do, of course, when you are in the column, you are going to check the three keys whichever in the column you have, because you have three columns. Okay, so if the port 0.4 is low, if yes, then increment the R0 and jump out. So before R0 was 0. Okay, and if you increment R0 got key, okay, if you get the keystroke before getting here, let me just clear this part. Okay, just keep an eye on focus here. Right now R0 is 0. Okay, that means you are checking key number 0. Okay, because that is in the R0. You are checking P0.4, that is key number 0. Let me show you here. Okay, here, this particular key, see, key 0. If hash is pressed, in that case key 0 is pressed, so that means R0 is 0. And from here you are jumping to got key here, but assume hash was not pressed, and that means this pin will be high, so this is not pressed, so you incremented R0. Now R0 is checking the key number 1. Is key number 1 pressed? If suppose you find that this is low, if key number 1 is low, you jump to got key. From here you jump to got key, this part, and you set F0. Okay, and then you return. Where you will return? From here you will return to the place from where you this particular got key was generated. Got key was generated from here. So where it will return? It will return to the next line. Increment RD0, check next keys. Are the next keys pressed? If not, then return. From here it will return to the place from where this particular column scan was generated. Column scan was generated from row scan here. This particular point. Okay, from here the column scan was generated. So that means the key has been detected. We have registered the key in R0, and then if F0 is set, yes, you have set the F0 in this section. Set F0. Okay, if F0 is set, this JB F0, if bit is set, then jump to finish. What is finish? You will see it is another subroutine, and you are going to repeat this loop for infinite time period. Done. Your program will stop. Okay, so let me what we can do is just let us check the same sequence one by one and check which key is getting pressed. Okay, we will repeat the program once or twice to understand the whole program, how this particular program is running. Okay, so okay, I will not save this program. Let me take the reference program from here. Load. Let me check if I can load the program from here. No, I don't have it here. Okay, I will take help of this particular thing. Okay, Control C, Control V. So this is our program. Is it the program? No, this is not the program. Okay, let me go to the handout. Okay. First, before writing your own program, try to briefly understand the basics of this particular program. Okay, repeat it 2 times, 3 times, so that once you are familiar with the operations, you will be able to write your own program. It will not be that difficult after that. Control A, Control V. Okay, and then okay, here down from here I will take this part and this. Okay, let me reset, assemble, done. Stop, reset. Can I change the layout? No. Can I make this font low? No. So what else I can do? Cannot readjust the window size. Very good. Okay. We have to stick with the software itself. Okay. Let us reset and assemble the code. So this is our program. We have started from R0 equal to 0. So just follow step by step. Okay. So R0 is 0. So step. So yes, R0 is 0 is loaded to R0. First thing done. Then what you are doing, set 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. That means providing 5 volt to the rest of the pins. Which of the pins are you providing? Okay, wait a second. You are providing 5 volt to rest of the 3, R3, R2, R1. So if these 3 are having 5 volt, then definitely you cannot detect the keystroke, because both C column and row both are high, so you cannot detect the keystroke. So you are going to keep only one of the keys low, R0. Okay. So now what you are doing, deactivating, or you are not going to check the keystroke from 0.3, 0.2 or 0.1. Which row are you going to check, scan or activate? You are going to activate port 0.0, that is row 0. Okay. So now you have 3 options. When row 0 is activated, you can check, or you are going to detect star, 0 or hash. Okay, hash is your key number 0, 0 is your key number 1, star is your key number 2. Remember, okay, for this particular architecture, of course, you have a different keypad in your hand. So now I'm going to jump to column scan, and I will scan whether hash is pressed, 0 is pressed or star is pressed. For that, right now I have not pressed any of the key. So from here I am going to jump to column scan. Yes, I jump to column scan here, and then I am going to check, is the port 0.4 active? No. Okay. Then increment R0. Go to the next key, this key. Now R0, you can see number 1. I am checking whether key number 1 is pressed. I am going to check that here. It will be checked only if I press this. Then what will happen? The combination of row and column will become low. Both will be low. Okay. So now I am going to check this key. Is it pressed? No. Okay. Increment R0. Go to the key number 2. Here. Is it pressed? No. Then increment key number 3 and return. So that means these 3 keys have not been pressed. Now what you are doing, it is checking, is F0 high? So F0 is here. No, F0 is not high, because we didn't get the key, so F0 was not high. So what is going to do, if it is not high, then go to the next instruction here. Again, set the next bit. Okay, 0.2 is set, 0.3 is set, 0.0 is set. Only 0.1 is cleared. That means I am now having the facility to check 789. Key number 789, because row 0, row 2 and row 3 are all high. So I cannot detect the keystroke from R0, row 0, row 2 and row 3. I can only detect key from row number 1. So for that I am making row number 1 low. Cleared. Now I am going to again check column scan. I will jump to the column scan area. I'm now going to check whether key number 4 is pressed. Is it 0.4 high? No. Is it low? No. Increment R0. Is 0.5 low? No. Is 0.6 low? No. Okay, return back here. Is F0 low? If F0 set? No. F0 is not set. It is still 0 here. You can see F0 is 0. Okay. Then go to the next row. For that, what we are doing is you can see clear P0.2 and rest 3 of these rows are high. So now we are only focusing on row 0.2. Now we are in this row 4, 5, 6. Now assume I am going to press key number 5. Right? I pressed key number 5. Now let's go to 5 number. Jump to column scan. Is 0.4, that means this key high? No, increment the keystroke. So now you are key number 6. It is not detected. Now is it there in 0.5? Yes, it is detected. That means this is low now. Why this is low? Because you see here, if I press key number 5, then this node here is low. Apart from that, R2 is low. So R2 and C1 is low. So R2 C1 will give you the information of key number 5. So yes, key number 5 is pressed. Now we jumped to another location where we jumped to a location called got key. I got the key or key pressed, we can say. Okay, you got the key. So now what you are going to do if you got the key? If you are detected the key, make the F1 F0 high. So yes, F0 is high now. Then what you are doing? After getting this keystroke, return to the place from where the function was called. Okay, and then you are going to this particular jump 0 F0. Okay, so F0 is high. Yes, F0 is high. Now what you are going to do? If it is high, jump to finish. Okay, so you jump to this particular location, finish. And now because this is an infinite loop, jump dollar, keep on repeating the same thing. It is not going to change the whole program. So the program stopped actually, which is not a good program in my idea. Okay, because if suppose someone unpressed this key number 5 and suppose key number 2 is pressed now, but this program is not going to do anything about that. So this program is only about detecting one of the keys and detecting which key is pressed, and that we can know from this particular R0, that information of that particular key, and then it stopped the program. Whereas what kind of program you are going to work with? The programs that we have given to you, okay, or the task which you have to design or solve are listed in the problem statements like this. First, write a program to interface 4x3 keyboard or keypad with 8051. Display cafe. Cafe means you are going to use 7-segment display, which was in the last lab. Okay, so you have to use this 7-segment display. In this you will have to print CAFE, cafe. When you have to press that, cafe will be displayed when key number 5 is pressed. So first thing that you will have to do is you will have to take the help of this particular program which we have provided you. Detect the keystroke 5, key 5. Okay, so key 5, when I am saying here, we are actually interested in this particular key. Okay, key number 5, which actually is key number 7. Or otherwise, if you are not going to use this number, then you will have to mention here that I am actually using key 5, which is the actual key 7. Okay, here. Okay, so here key 7 is the key 5. So you will have to detect that keystroke, and if that keystroke is there, or if it is detected, then you will have to display this particular think cafe on 7 segment. If it is unpressed, it automatically means if it is unpressed, if key 5 is not pressed, then this display should go off. Okay, it is not that you will terminate the program. Your program should keep on repeating and checking. If key 5 is pressed, print cafe. If it is not pressed, then the display should be off. So that means this display will work till key number 5 is pressed. The moment you unpress the key, there will not be any display on the 7th segment. Similarly, some other guys might be getting another problem statement, like if the key number 2 is pressed, display a positive staircase. Simple, increment the DAC and make the staircase. So we have made such combinations, okay, and we have given you different keys, and you can take the help of your previous knowledge how to display on the 7th segment, or display or to generate waveforms from the DAC. These two are there, okay. Only either you will be using a DAC or you will be using a 7 segment display and displaying that thing depending on which of the key is pressed. So first task, detect the key, and rest. Second thing, instead of jumping to this particular got key, here in this got key you will have to write the subroutine for displaying your character or generating the DAC, and then from here you will have to return, not to finish. Remember, here the program is jumping to finish this particular part. No, from here you just jump to start again. Okay, so that you can keep on scanning the keyboard. If the key is pressed, your thing or your subroutine will be activated. If not, then your display will be off. Okay, so in this way, so this is just to have a familiarity with. Now you will have different combinations of the keyboard, DAC, or 7 segments, or maybe any other peripheral that you want to connect. So depending on your choice, you may end up with a different program. So this way we have decided to give you this kind of problem statements. It may become a more difficult or easier later when you are going for the exams. Okay, so if you have any doubt right now, you can ask me. I have taken approximately 1 hour, so you have 2.5 hours to complete your job, provided keep in mind you have the program of the keypad, which is very clear. Only thing is you have to detect a particular key which is allotted to you, and depending on that key you will have to take take help of your previous knowledge of displaying 7 segments or displaying waveforms using DAC. Mix these two programs and come up with this solution. Okay.